Going to be a new member of the Hall of Fame, but just a few years ago was given the Distinguished Alumni Award from the Wyoming School Foundation. Not only are our Athletic Hall of Fame inductees great athletes, they are also accomplished citizens in their communities. The person that will induct Phil Arnold tonight, Phil was from the class of '64, was Bob Goodridge, one of his teammates from the class of '64 also. These two gentlemen played on probably the most historic team ever to play here in football, and that's the 1962 unscored on team. They scored 448 points in 10 games and gave up 0. I would like to call forward one of Phil's teammates on the '62 unscored on team and one of the original members of our Hall of Fame, who was inducted back in the first year we had a Hall of Fame, 1992, Mr. Bob Goodridge.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm overwhelmed and I'm underlighted here. Wyoming should fix that bulb up there, and I hope that it won't cause any too much difficulty with my prepared remarks. I think people who have been with me in some of these occasions when I've been asked to speak know that I should never ad-lib. So I've tried to put the things that I thought were significant about my friendship with Phil, my love for Phil and Shelley, and has grown just recently down on paper, and I hope I can deliver it in a way that honors the things that he accomplished while he was at Wyoming High School. And I think I'm going to have to put an ad-lib asterisk on this, but you'll forgive me when I do, I think. I'm honored to introduce my good friend. Oh, thank you. Amazing. I'm honored to introduce my good friend and one of Wyoming's most outstanding gentlemen and athletes, Phil Arnold. And Phil is sitting right here with his wife, Shelley. A second-generation cowboy, his mother, Juanita Beckwith, graduated from Wyoming High School in 1931. With Phil tonight, and as always, his sideline coach and quarterback, those are his words, his wife of 53 years, Shelley Arnold. Shelley, of proud roots herself, the daughter of one of our bravest in World War II, one of the original Tuskegee Airmen, Flight Officer Edwin T. Cowan. That's good roots right there. Brave man who was before his time in terms of the affection he had for the country and the willingness to sacrifice. But now on to Philip. Class of 1964, in his day affectionately regarded as 10-foot. You see him arrive, you know why. Wore the number 77 on the gridiron and in the football trenches where we know all games are won or lost. Played all 4 years for Hall of Fame coach Bob Lewis, championship and undefeated years, and including the team that Jim just pointed out, the immortalized team for never being scored on in I think it was 62.
It was fall of '62.
All 62, okay. I'll defer on that. As number 44, 4-year letterman on the hardwood for Coach Champ in dominating basketball years, and including one singular accomplishment, and I don't know if Phil, I would guess you would know, during our district championship, our senior year, which was about a 5-game run, Phil led the team in scoring 4 of those 5 years, 4 of those 5 nights, I believe, Phil. So he kind of carried us on his back, where the ball had to be gotten off the rim. They better get out of his way, because Phil was a tyrant about owning that basketball. Phil was also an accomplished musician at Wyoming, creating year-round music from his tenor sax and clarinet, participating in dance band, orchestra, and jazz band for his dear friend and mentor, Mr. Wheeler. Phil noted for me that this was the side of his life where he didn't have to get dirty. We can all appreciate that. He was our gentle giant, recognized for his many leadership roles, always drawing smiles from his peers, and the high regard of underclassmen who saw him in the quiet lead that he demonstrated in his many activities. The gloss on this honoree is quite exceptional. But I would be remiss and cheat this audience of admirers if I was to skip what I know about the personal intangibles of his life. That which began in his cowboy years, nurtured by his family and other exceptional Wyoming friends, and continues to this day. So, without my asterisk, I'll just give you one more little bit of information. Okay. A few short more lines. I've made it into a whimsical illusion. And all Wyoming people know what an illusion is, right? We all had those people getting us ready for college. Illusions. An illusion that borrows from a storybook that both Phil's family and mine admire. And here goes. The main character in this illusion is our creator. We are in his workshop. He is at the business of assembling thoughtfully and awesomely his humanity for creation. It is sometime in January of 1946. January 1946. Okay. Angels? Yes, God. I want you to give this boy, Philip Arnold, perfect pitch and a sense of rhythm so as to please others and himself, and grow deep and lasting friendships and memories through his music. Check. Now, carefully wrap him in beautiful brown skin, but make it thick. Make it real thick. Because Philip's convictions of right and wrong will take him into many worldly controversies, not on popular roads and at some cost. Got it, Lord. Add a wry smile and a sense of humor to his bold courage. His wit will often catch his adversaries off guard and endear him to them, that win or lose, they will walk away still regarding him highly. Special stuff, God. Yes, he will be. But this is the most important one. Fashion him in a big man's suit. Big. Big God? Yes. Big. You see, I'm going to give him a big heart. A heart for the underprivileged, a heart for the victimized, marginalized, and poor in spirit. His heart will be mine, and his neighbors wherever he will go. He will be one of my ambassadors. And so, as his peers will have seen him as a competitor and gentleman, he has been at Wyoming High School, University of Cincinnati, and in the Air Force. He will take on a helmet and special shoes and trumpet for me, and what will be his later induction into my Hall of Fame. Philip Hurd Arnold, your honoree tonight in the Wyoming High School Hall of Fame.
Beautiful.
He's good.
I'd like to thank the committee. I'd like to thank Goody for his words. And I'd like to thank my family, which is the Wyoming family. I had no idea what Wyoming was doing for me, to me, and with me. But the expectations to perform were there. I was blessed with a sense of humor, and I will display that now because I'd asked at the 100 Years of Football celebration I asked my beautiful wife, I said, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think that I would be up here celebrating 100 years of football with Wyoming? And she told me later, you were never in any of my wildest dreams. When Bob began to speak, I had sent him an email message saying I'm going to get down in a three-point stance when he calls his audibles. And we both agreed that I shouldn't do that because I may not be able to get back up. And he talked about Coach Lewis balancing a glass of water on our backs to make sure that we didn't move before we were supposed to. But it's the games, is what Wyoming did to quote John Wooden, a good coach can change a game. A great coach can change a life. And I had great coaches. I had great coaches in Bob Lewis, and he said, okay, monkey drills. I'm like, okay, what's that? And those of you who played football, show me a show of hands, you know what monkey drills are? Yeah. They are not that fun to get tired. Bob said, I always forgot to roll in the monkey drills, but that was good. But I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful because life challenged me when Coach Champion took us to his hometown down in Hazard, Kentucky. It was an eye-opener for me because that was the 1963-64 season. And we got there, and I was refused admittance into the hotel. So they had to scramble and find a place for me to stay, and they found a black family. And I could still see the look on that lady's face when she asked Coach Champion, do I have to feed him too? But we lost the game, but we won the other one. And I had never seen poverty like that down in Appalachia, where the kids actually changed shoes doing a substitution. When one player would come in, they would take the shoes off another player. And I said, how blessed am I to be here in this thing? One of the things that I've learned from my mother and from my coaches is never ever try to live up to someone else's expectations for you. And never try to live down to their expectations for you. Because there's a lot of people that told me what I couldn't do. And I'd never be able to. And my time in the military revealed that there was after they gave me a checkup from the neck up, that there was something that I had going on here that I really hadn't exploited. And I became a graduate of the Defense Language Institute, became a Russian interpreter, monitored Soviet communications out of the Middle East with a top secret cryptographic code word clearance issued by the National Security Agency. So how many brothers you know, not black Russians, how many Russians you know, brothers that can speak Russian? But again, that's the teamwork, the team. There's nothing more important than team, and all team members have to be able to understand it's about the team, it's not about yourself. Johnny Ballou was one of the sideline coaches that I had that told me, Phil, you can make a living on offensive putbacks. What do you mean? Offensive rebounds. If Goody should mention miss a shot, get the rebound, put it back in, that goes in your stat line for rebounds. 2 points for putting it back in. You're liable to get a foul on the other team, which is good. And you'll get an and one at the free throw line and an involuntary timeout where you can say, let me take a breath. But my most exciting time, there were 2 games in our career that we played. One was just sending Middletown, Ohio, a message. You all can go home now. And that was the first time they'd lost in that early in 25 years because they had a powerhouse team. The other time was playing against Dayton, Urbana that we lost, and I still remember the losses, 69-67, playing at Cincinnati Gardens in front of 10,000 fans. And that was just a highlight. But my love for Goody goes beyond that. He is a great brother of faith with me. We've prayed before. We lift each other up. We love each other. And I thank you for your love that you gave for me and how many of you have come up to me and said, hey Phil, Tom Tobias stopped me on the street the other day and just with his grandson. Across the street, picked him up in this little cycle. He came over and gave me a hug. I said, Phil, when I was in 5th grade, I was gonna say that. When I was in 5th grade, you were my hero. Really? Really? But I thank Wyoming, because I can't explain to anybody what Wyoming is. They don't believe it. When I was here with Goody, 96 to 100 was an A. I was a solid C student. Now I thought, well, I'm not that smart, but my solid C would have been a B anywhere else. He said, that grading curve is just too tough. I'm like, okay. But memories, the teachers that I had, I'm gonna make a private pronoun, they shared one of the kids in the class, but that's another story. Those of you who have them know what I'm talking about. But again, God bless you. Thank you for your faith in me, your encouragement, and your love on this day, and the honor to be considered